And we're back. Thanks for finding us again on Southern Indiana Now. You can find us literally everywhere. I believe that podcasts are available. You can download us, of course, on Apple, Spotify. You can check out our website at southernindiananow.com. You can also now find us on iHeart. So we are literally all the places that you are, and you can get connected with what life is like in Southern Indiana. And that's what Southern Indiana Now podcast is all about. Today, we're going to focus on some special guests lined up around starting a business or what the business life is like, entrepreneurship, all the things, and we're going to stay connected with that. So keep it right here as we go throughout.
Welcome back to Southern Indiana Now. I'm Kelly Trask. We're hanging out this morning with Mark Eddy. Of course, this is a part of our feature, Hoosier Good News, because Mark is part of Leadership Southern Indiana, but also in the spirit of entrepreneurism and wanting to talk about our youth. Mark, this is exactly what you do with the Next Gen program. So tell me about how it works and how it's structured for youth.
Sure. Kelly, first of all, thank you for having us on. We appreciate the opportunity. Next Gen is a program that actually started in 2014, so we're just 10 years now, a little bit over 10 years into the program. And when we first developed the program, we actually modeled it out of a program that was in Anderson, Indiana. That's actually where I came from and moved down here. And so the program is designed for 11th graders. They apply in their 10th grade year, and then they participate in their 11th grade year. And the opportunity is to, help them get out of their silos a little bit. All of us, we kind of stay in our own little silos. We never get around other parts of our community, so we really don't know what's happening. We also wanted to focus on keeping our talent here. And so as people explore these other parts of our community, they can say, hey, we got more than what I just grew up with. And so it's been a great opportunity for there, but that also means they get to interact with a lot of different community leaders. We've been, just actually 2 months ago, we were at Maker 13, which is John Riley and his team down there. They had a whole day on innovation. And so the students were able to participate in that and kind of explore and meet new people that are maybe doing things out there, entrepreneurs who have tried their own businesses. And so some of those students were able to connect with those type of people to see what it was like, what they have to do, what were the struggles they had, and just to see if people were interested. Not everyone's going to be an entrepreneur, but we also know that, some kids, if they never get a taste for it, they don't know what they're missing. So that's been part of some of the things we do. So we want to make sure that, the students develop the leadership skills. They learn more about the community. They get to connect with these community leaders and then identify ways that they actually can give back to the community themselves, which they have done. Really been amazing. They, each of the last 3 or 4, actually since we began, raised anywhere from $2,000 to $4,000 a year and give back to nonprofits in some way or the other.
I love that. So how does the Next Gen program, I know you have lots of opportunity for kids to learn what it's like to have your own business or run your own business or, just be connected with the entrepreneurial type community. How does Next Gen foster that?
Yeah, and again, I think part of that is connecting them with leaders. Like we have people like ARC is one of our sponsors and participates with us, which is Alan Muncie. Here's a guy, a local high school guy, and then he started his own business. And so they get to actually go to his place and see what he's done and hear his story about how he started, and maybe it'll inspire them to say, hey, it's okay to take risks. It's okay to fail, and explore different things. They get to go to places like Samtec, and Samtec, again, started out of his garage, and built this multi-million-dollar, maybe, I don't even know if it's billion or not, but, it's massive.
It's still pretty big. Yeah.
Yeah, worldwide.
I love it.
Type thing, so they get to hear those type of stories. They get to hear the stories of, I forget that they changed the name, Redwire, I believe it is now, that does stuff with NASA. It's over in Lanesville a little bit, and they are actually getting ready to build a new facility. But, here they're doing experiments on all of these shuttles and stuff like that. Or not shuttles anymore, I don't think, but going up into space. So they get to hear from people like that who are actually doing those experiments and things like that. So they get to hear from a lot of different people that they would never have contact with.
So, Mark, tell me about, on the NextGen side, what counties does that serve in southern Indiana? And then if someone's listening or watching from another county, what kind of model can they employ for their use if they want to kind of do this program in their backyard?
Sure. We serve Clark, Floyd, and Scott counties. So that's our service area for all of our programming. It's really up to them. Now, we actually help Harrison County. They recently, in the last 5 years, I believe, started a youth leadership program. And they talked to us, and we helped them as they got theirs off the ground. So there's other communities that are trying to model their own thing and what's unique for them. I mean, no youth leadership program is probably the same, from wherever you go. We even tweaked ours from what I saw in Anderson, just to make it unique for ours. And we have a committee that works with us too. That brings in a lot of different thoughts and contacts within the community by having those volunteers.
Yeah. Well, so if someone's listening from any county here in southern Indiana, Mark, if they would like to reach out and get a better idea about how a model would work for them, and of course, thank you for all you do with NextGen and connecting kiddos with entrepreneurial type programs, what's the best number that they can reach you?
Yeah, probably the best number is our office number. It's 812-246-6574. If they go to our website, leadershipsi.org, our contact information is on there too, and along with our email, so they can reach out to us, and we would try to help. And if they actually want to, somebody listening here has a child in 10th grade right now, the application window is open the whole month of February. So they actually apply now, and then we go through interview processes, and then they start in July with an open retreat and go from there.
Love it. Thanks so much, Mark. Appreciate you being a part of Southern Indiana Now, and we'll be back right here. Keep it tuned.
And we've got so many special guests lined up for you. Of course, Southern Indiana Now is a podcast that connects all the dots about life in Southern Indiana. Things you want to know, things you didn't know you want to know. We have it all right here. Today, we're visiting with Dan Robinson with the Jackson County Chamber. We're talking all about entrepreneurship. That's a hard word to say 3 times fast, let alone 1 time right. So for a girl in broadcasting, I'm tearing it up right now. All right. So Dan, we definitely want to talk about all the things that, especially about the Jackson County Chamber and how it pertains to everything that you've done underneath your leadership, as well as where you see it going to help foster the spirit of new business development, innovation, all the things connected with that.
Yeah. So let's talk about the word first, entrepreneurship. It is one of those words that even I have to slow down and really enunciate. It's actually a French word, and just directly translated means undertaker. Now, not undertaker not like a funeral undertaker, but someone who undertakes things.
Okay.
Someone who takes things on. And so that kind of gives you an idea of the background of the word a little bit. Yeah, but we're super involved with entrepreneurship here in Jackson County. And I think what sets us apart, Forbes came out a couple of years ago and said that Indiana was the best state in the country to start a new business. And the state's done a fantastic job of creating this really rich, fertile soil in which, businesses can launch and grow and excel here. But what sets us apart here in Jackson County is we're rural, right? We're South Central Indiana. And so we believe there's unique opportunities for rural communities to step up and create some resources and support for those who are undertakers in the business sense of things.
I love it. So, Dan, with that, thinking about how businesses are growing, what do you kind of see? Is there a certain sector that, hey, if you're thinking about starting a business in this area, this would be are we right for that? Or is there something else you're seeing as far as business development goes? Tell me how that would work.
The great thing is here in Jackson County specifically, we have this legacy heritage here of agriculture and manufacturing. So it's really cool to see a lot of the innovation that's taking place in those verticals. Mm-hmm. So one example of that is we have a local venture capital fund that we've raised here with our friends at Flywheel Fund over in Bloomington. And we raised $300,000 in capital to help, some of those rural entrepreneurs And one of those, our first one that we've actually funded, is in the ag space. This dude has created a system using AI and robotics that is actually an autonomous watermelon harvesting system.
Stop. That's amazing.
Yeah. So when was the last time there was any innovation in the watermelon harvesting segment? It's been forever.
It has pretty much ran itself.
So we have those strengths of manufacturing,
Yeah.
agriculture, and there's just a lot of cool things being leveraged in innovation in those spaces. But the cool thing we're seeing too throughout Indiana is we've always been known for ag and manufacturing, but now we're being known for other things too. We're starting to fill in some of the gaps between those verticals.
Yeah.
We're seeing a lot of tech. We're seeing a lot of defense type innovation, things like that with our strong defense presence here in Indiana. So just a lot of cool things that are starting to kind of fill out our economic landscape here throughout Indiana. And we want to be positioned for that here in rural Indiana as well.
Yeah. So thinking about how the chamber is connected with that. So if someone is thinking about, starting a business or at least involving their business with the area chamber, because you don't have to live in Jackson County to be a Jackson County chamber. Remember, I know this show kind of goes out all over. So if you're wanting to do any kind of business or have relationships with the economic community here, what's the best way they can get connected with you, and how does that work?
Yeah. So, really what we're doing with Spark Jackson County is just part of our DNA as a chamber. As a chamber, people ask me like, well, what's a chamber? Like, I've heard of it, don't know really what it is, but it's two words. We are connectors and we are conveners. We bring people together, we connect them so we all work together. So the best way to do that is just to reach out to us. We have a website at Jackson Co Chamber. That's CO for county, chamber.com. Or shoot us an email at info@jacksoncoachamber.com, or stop by our office. However you want to reach out to us, we'd love to meet you there and talk more about the chamber.
Thanks so much. If you'd like to connect with Dan, you can do so. You can check out their website. Of course, give them a call. Either way, you'll get connected to all the business resources you need to be successful here in Southern Indiana. If you'd like to catch a different interview with Dan as we go along, we're going to talk about specifically Spark Place and Spark Tank, and that's a great opportunity for you to get connected in the Jackson County area. So that'll be its own short feature available after this show. And we're back right here on Southern Indiana Now. I'm Kelly Trask. So excited to have our next special guest with us. We're talking with Miss Jen with the LM Sugarbush Maple Syrup Festival. This is happening in Washington County. And Jen, tell everybody what the festival is, where you're located, and when they can plan to come on out.
Yes, it is in Salem, Indiana. We're fairly convenient to Interstate 65, so you'll get a nice drive in the country, but we have it well marked, and it's an easily traveled route. You can find us on your GPS. This year, it is February 22nd and 23rd, and March 1st and 2nd from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. We are a working family farm, so you can expect to park your car in an open field. If it's rainy or snowy, there might be some mud, but we have a wonderful parking crew who will help you in and out as needed. If you have a four-wheel drive, we always suggest bringing it. It makes everyone's lives easier. You're going to want to dress warmly in outdoor clothes and sturdy boots. We have a wide variety of things that you can do at the festival. You can easily spend all day there with your family. First and foremost, admission is free, so you can come as a family and enjoy the day for very little cost, or you can shop till you drop and do all the things. We have a pancake and waffle breakfast that's served all day. Kids 5 and under will eat free. We also have a barbecue lunch, which can be either barbecue maple chicken, barbecue pork chops, or pulled pork sandwiches. The farm kitchen is staffed by Grace Lutheran Church out of New Albany, Indiana, and all the proceeds from the food service go to support them in their missions and outreach in the community. We have a maple store. It's basically maple heaven. We call it the sugar store. We sell maple syrup, bourbon barrel aged maple syrup, maple candy, maple sugar. A crowd favorite is our maple cotton candy. And then we have a ton of merchandise and goodies that you can take home. It makes a great gift. Maple syrup has a long shelf life, so you can even do some early Christmas shopping if you like. I could talk about this for 3 hours. We have over 40 craft vendors who will be attending this year. They are a wide range of handmade or unique products. We don't allow any mass sales, so you can come and get a really unique souvenir to take home from them. We have a full music festival, which is a mix of bluegrass, gospel, cover bands, a whole fun day to listen to music outside. We have a cowboy shootout. We have tours of the sugar bush, so you can see everything that we do. And we do have some additional food vendors on site if the farm kitchen menu isn't your jam. We have a ton of free activities, a few low-cost activities like our merry-go-rounds, just a really fun day for the family to enjoy and spend a day outside, disconnected. Your phone probably won't work, so you can just plan to leave that one at home or in the car. And we also have 2 wineries and a distillery for those of you who would like to have a little fun while you shop or while you listen to music. So we try to cover all the bases for everyone.
Okay, fantastic. So I know you've seen maple syrup put on a lot of things, Jen. So what's your personal favorite, and what's the strangest thing you've seen maple syrup put on?
Well, I would guess I would say the strangest thing I've seen is people actually do health food cleanses with it. So they mix it with apple juice, and then they fast, and they drink it. So that would be my strangest thing.
Okay.
But a lot of people think about maple syrup being isolated to something like pancakes or waffles, but in our household, we really use it more as a savory addition or a sweet addition to things like seafood, things like drizzle over vegetables, mixing in barbecue sauce with on a barbecue. We do a maple sugar rub on our meats that we smoke. My husband's big into smoking meat. And then, of course, my personal favorite, it makes a mean old fashioned if you switch out the simple sugar for the maple syrup. So
Absolutely.
being close to bourbon country, we perfected that one.
Well, my daughter drinks a French toast latte, which is maple syrup in her coffee. So with, all the things. Where's the best way to get connected, Jen?
We are on Facebook, LM Sugarbush, and then our website address is lmsugarbush.com, so we're easy to find.
We're definitely excited to have Chris Wakeman with us with Scott County Visitor Center, and we're talking all things about the Hoosier Homestead, what it's like to live in Southern Indiana. Specifically, we're featuring Scott County today, and of course, we're talking with Chris. And Chris, thanks so much for being part of the show today. So excited to have you with us, and tell us a little bit about what life is like in Scott County. I know you're part of the Tourism Bureau, but tell us a little bit about the character and the culture in Scott County.
Well, we're pretty laid back, I would say. It's not the hub of the universe, but that suits us perfectly. It's also been suiting people who've moved to Scott County. A friend of mine, Jennifer Coward, she and her husband bought some property in Scott County. They moved from Jeffersonville. They liked it so well that within a pretty short time, her adult children had decided they needed to live in Scott County as well. So with the rural aspect of everything, there are so many things close by with Jeffersonville, Madison, Louisville are all close, and we can access all of the amenities in all those areas without actually having to live there.
Yeah.
We can back up into the county and enjoy a much more peaceful and rural lifestyle.
Yeah. I love that. So in thinking about that, I know you have an awesome position with Scott County Tourism and making sure events and things are happening all in the backyard there in Scott County. So what would you say was the biggest driver as far as economic? You think about someone starting a business there or moving there for their job. Well, what kind of work would they be doing, and what kind of business opportunities do you see right now?
Well, right now we have obviously established businesses that are always looking for certain employees. There's Morgan Foods, Pepsi, Conco just moved in. They're employing 200 people. So there's all sorts of activity in manufacturing, but also small businesses. There's a company called Perma Earth. They make soaps and body products. Yeah, Wildflowers is the clothing store that just opened, but we have Arbuckle's greenhouses. We have Krieger's U-Pick and farm. There's a real variety with Hardy Lake in the background for boating, fishing, trails, the Knobstone Trail. There are all sorts of activities. We have our good, really good park system that's well maintained, well supervised, and just in general, there's so much to do in the community. But if you need to get out of the community for a little while, you need to pick up something from the store that's not available in town. You're close enough to 30-minute drive to Louisville or Clarksville or Jeffersonville, and you can get whatever you need.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of, I know you mentioned the lakes and the hiking and all the sorts of fun things in Scott County. You have some events too throughout the year. You have some things that you like people to come to that kind of the town gets around. I know one of those is the fair, but I'm sure you have more.
Absolutely, yeah. This fair is pretty popular, but we start earlier this year with the Old Settlers Days in Lexington, Indiana, that is. And that's been going for a little over 120 years. So that's pretty well established. But yeah, we have other Mayberries coming to Scottsburg, and then the Fall Fun Fest and various other activities as well.
I love it. Well, thanks so much for being part of Southern Indiana Now. And of course, if anyone has any more questions about maybe relocating to Scott County or looking at Scott County to work or play, what's the best way that they can reach you if they have some additional questions?
Well, if they have any questions, my number's 812-595-3678. And if you prefer email, it's chris.wakeman@greatscottindiana.com.
All right. Thanks so much. We'll be back here on Southern Indiana Now. Keep it right here. We are doing a deep dive with Dan Robeson with the Jackson County Chamber about a new initiative called Spark Shop. You definitely want to be connected with that if you are definitely in the area of wanting to work with a team, if you're collaborating, if you just want to work outside walls that are not your house or your office, whatever the case is, this space is for you at Spark Shop. And Dan, let's talk a little bit about what Spark Shop is, where it's located, how people can get connected, and the model for usage.
Yeah, so Spark Shop is going to be a redevelopment of an old tire shop here in downtown Seymour. A lot of folks knew it as George's Tire Shop down at 2nd Broadway. We've purchased that property with some great community partners that have invested in this project, and we'll be in construction mode here in the next couple months of redeveloping that space into a really cool state-of-the-art co-working studio. And the biggest question we get from folks is like, what's a co-working studio, basically? Yeah. So love answering that question, casting that vision. But it's just a place for people to come and share resources in an office environment. And so we know we have a lot of remote workers in Jackson County because of where we're at geographically. We have people that work for firms in Indy, Louisville, Cincinnati, but they live here in Jackson County, but they work remotely. And we remember back in 2020 with COVID, a lot of folks were sent home to work. Which everybody loved at first until they didn't love it anymore because you get tired of being at your house all the time. So this is a great environment for people to come in and share resources together, which keeps the cost low. Like you're not out trying to rent an office space or a storefront yourself. You're sharing it with others. But that comes with the cool component of you're connecting with other people. And you're building community and connections and resources along the way.
And it's different people too.
Yeah, it's different people.
May not be the same people every day.
Absolutely. So that's basically what it is in a nutshell.
Yeah. What another thing I love about it too, as companies can grow and they're not ready to like maybe physically add on building space, but they have a couple team members that they want to work on a project together. That's a good way to use that space too, to get people, connected to without having to add on to their building. I mean, that's a great opportunity for that.
Keeps the overhead down. Like, as you know, as a small business owner, like that real estate overhead, like that's a big chunk a lot of times. That this helps
adding
people
on's
have
expensive.
Sure. Yeah. So this helps folks have a longer runway to be able to just share that resource with others in the community and build their business.
So what sort of questions do you get from the community as far as how is it connected to the chamber? What are some of the things that you want people to know about that relationship?
Yeah, so the Spark Shop project really fits hand in glove with who we are as an organization at the Jackson County Chamber. The pillars of our mission statement are to connect, build, and grow. We're doing those exact same things in the Spark Shop space. And so it really works great for us. But a lot of folks ask, like, well, how do you get connected? How does it work? And so it's a membership based model where, like, kind of like a gym, like you'll sign up to go and share those resources. Like you don't have to buy all that gym equipment, for your house. You can go to a gym and share it with other people.
We all know how that works.
Same concept. So
it always sounds like a good idea, but
same concept. here, you'll just pay a monthly membership.
Yeah.
And again, like a full-time membership, which is 24/7 access, because it'll be keyless entry, around $100 a month.
Yeah.
And we'll have a part-time. If you just want to come evenings or weekends, we'll have a student rate. And of course, we'll have a day pass program where you can just come, try the space out for free and see if it's a good fit for you.
And I know we just talked about the Maple Syrup Festival, but there's a lot of other great events happening in and around Southern Indiana right now. You don't want to miss it. One of them, of course, coming up in Orange County, we've got the Valentine's Day Chocolate Tasting Train. Now, chocolate tasting in and of itself sounds like a great time, but you throw it with a train and why not, right? It's February 14th from 5:30 to 8:30. That's the French Lick Scenic Railway. You can check that out and you can try some different chocolate paired with different confections and cocktails. So it's going to be super fun. That's a 21 and over event in Bartholomew County up and around Columbus. It's the Columbus, Indiana Philharmonic's 9th annual Bourbon Fest at the Commons. That's going to be super fun. You can get tickets for that as well. And of course, in Madison, it's the Totally Rad 80s Dance Party at the Red Bicycle Hall. I'm going to go out on a limb and say big hair is required. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. But February 15th from 7 to 11, doors open at 7 and tickets are $10 in advance or $15 for day of entry. That's going to be a super fun 80s party. I mean, why not? Why wouldn't want to go there? So there's all sorts of fun things happening. And of course, we invite you to like, subscribe, you can share, you can do all the things. Make sure you download our podcast and keep it connected with Southern Indiana Now. If you'd like to be a sponsor, or if you have something you want us to know about or something you want us to share here in Southern Indiana, we want to hear about it. We want to make sure everyone else knows about it so we can connect you not only with Southern Indiana Now podcast, but we can also partner it with any of our broadcast stations and make sure your message is getting heard. So check us out, southern.indiana.now.com. You can send us an email at southern.indiana.now@gmail.com, or you can fill out the form on our website and we'll make sure that we get back with you and get everything connected with you. So your event or news or story or whatever the case is can be featured on Southern Indiana Now. We'll be back here next week. Make sure you're here for it.